you are here. All right, this is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is the 90-day listing challenge. I believe we are on week 11. That means that we only have 2 more weeks after this, and we're done. The prayer is that we're all making progress, whether it's little or big, whether it's paused and then restarted, that we're making some progress on our listings. So with that being said, I invite you all to go ahead and unmute yourselves and share with me where you are in this journey for the listing challenge. How many listings have you been able to get up? Do you feel like you're going to meet your target over the rest of this week, next week, and the following week? Or do you feel you might fall just a little bit short, but you are much improved compared to this time last year? So how do you feel about where you are on this journey?
Hey, it's Robin. How you doing?
I am hanging in there. How are you doing?
I'm good. I know I missed a few, but I'm doing really good and I'm happy about my journey. I'm at 177.
Woo woo! Hey girl.
So I even though I haven't been on the calls, I have been listing and posting and listing and stuff like that. So I'm quite excited. My goal was 250. So I think I could possibly make it with the 2 weeks left still. Or
Okay.
come very close to it. But I'll be happy if I get to 100, 200. That'll be happy for me. But I'm shooting for the 250. But if I fall short, I'm not mad at myself because I am so much better in listing than I was last year. And I'm so much, even just better in listing from when I started. I'm getting so much quicker with it. Certain items still give me a little longer time, but certain items I got it down. I'm rocking. Boom, boom, boom. It's up. So I'm excited about that. But overall, yeah, I'm really happy with where I am.
I am so excited for you. So excited.
That's exciting.
It is. And one of the things that, sometimes people just continue to beat themselves up about where they are in their journey. And I'm like, look, the fact that, first of all, that you got a listing up, let's just start with that. Let's just celebrate that you took action, because there's so many times that people don't even take that action. Like, oh, I didn't even get any listings up. I'm like, okay, well, you could have at least gotten one. That would be a victory. Just one closer to what we're shooting towards. We're headed in the right direction versus the opposite of doing nothing. So congratulations on where you are. I
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This really has pushed me, even though I haven't made all the calls. I'm like, oh my God, I still got a list. But I was getting confused, and it's just me. Side note, I would see the 7 o'clock, but not realizing it's 7 o'clock Central. Oh. So I'm logging in at 7 o'clock Eastern. Oh. Like, where is everybody? Where is everybody? And then I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's the wrong day. I'm saying to myself, maybe it's the wrong day. And then I realized, so tonight when I looked, I said, you've missed the last 3 because you had the wrong time in your head. I got on today.
Well, I am celebrating your progress and your success thus far. This is going to be exciting because, again, if you compare yourself, the only person you're competing with is you. You're not competing with anybody else.
Right.
And if you compare your progress this time last year to this year, then if you haven't improved it, that's fantastic. If you have a setback, it's still okay. At least you're aware of it, because the biggest part of this journey is the increased awareness.
Well, yeah, I definitely had some setbacks. There were some days that I only did 2 listings, and then there's other days I was in a flow and I did like 7 listings. So I was like, some weeks I did absolutely no listings. So I know through this journey I've had setbacks, but I was like, keep going. It's a 90-day journey. Keep going. It's a 90-day journey. Keep going. Because I didn't want to fall that way.
Well, I'm excited because at the end of the 90 days, whatever your number was on day 1, which is normally 0, even if you got 5 listed on day 90, that's 5 more listings than you've had, right. And you did it in 90 days. So
my next goal is to try a different platform, because I'm doing everything on eBay right now, but I want to try one of these different platforms that you've been highlighting.
Okay.
Well, that's my next goal.
That's good. I am excited for you.
Thank you guys.
Congratulations.
Yes, massive congratulations.
Thank you. Woo! Okay, I'm sorry. Let me hog up the time. Let me get off.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. So, Miss Kathy, how are things going with you?
They are going okay. I'm about 5 short, but this week I'll be making up for what I missed last week. And this week I'm actually on track to do much more. So I think I'm on track for my goal. I really do. Uh, I'm excited about the journey. And I'm also looking at another platform to list on.
All right. Woo woo.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you too. I celebrate your success. I celebrate your wins. I celebrate your progress. And I celebrate your momentum because, again, we're gradually getting some traction and momentum in our businesses. And we're going to keep moving this process, this wheel forward. We're going to keep pushing it. We're no longer pushing a boulder up a hill. We are at least on level ground. And so that way we have an opportunity to gain some momentum if we're pushing. So I am excited for you.
Thank you.
So I had a very interesting conversation earlier today. I did have a scheduled coaching call, but the person didn't show up, but somebody else reached out to me. I don't know if you all remember Rashida Bass. She sent somebody to me because they were trying to figure out what to do about their e-commerce business, and they had a lot of inventory in their house. And she was just like, do I hire somebody? Do I not hire somebody? How do I gain some momentum? And I was like, man, you should have joined our listing challenge. But I gave her a couple of tips on, as she's trying to figure out this listing thing and trying to get some momentum, because she says she feels like it's taking over her house. So let me just share with you a couple of things that I told her. I said, well, where you are in this journey, because she is listing to be able to cover her kids' college, which is a very, very awesome reason why. Because if you don't know, Rashida's daughter graduated with no college debt because of her mom's and dad's e-commerce business. So that is such an amazing, just the fact that there's no debt. Most kids come out of school with a whole bunch of debt from college. So this mom is doing the same thing. And I said, well, she was down on herself. And I said, what I need you to realize is that, one, this is only a season. Where you are and the fact that you have inventory in your house, no, nobody wants all that inventory in their house. They do not. But this is only a season. This is not permanent. This is not the way you're going to live for the rest of your life. You're not going to be doing this for the next 20 years. This is just for right now, and it serves a purpose. You're going to list and you're going to sell and you're going to pay off your child's debt so that when they graduate, they have an opportunity to gain some traction in whatever their passion is, because of the fact that they're not burdened or boggled down with debt. I said, so you need to look at this as a blessing, not only to you, but to your daughter and to your children, your grandchildren, because of the fact that that debt is not going to be pushed down. And you potentially have created a solution that will create some level of generational wealth, if not, monetarily, emotionally, because now your daughter will see she graduated without debt. All of her friends have debt. When she has kids, then, she could teach her kids how to make money so that they don't have debt. Or she will potentially do the same thing for her kids. So you've potentially broken a cycle of all of us just signing up for debt to cover our kids' college. So I need you to stop being down on yourself. I need you to think about what this is, the end game, because this is not forever. This is just for right now. It's only for this moment, and you won't live like this forever. There will come a time when all this inventory will be sold and in somebody else's house, and you will reap the rewards of that, and your family will reap the rewards. So I just want to encourage you all that you're on this journey, and sometimes it feels like you're not getting any traction, you're not getting any momentum. Going back to your why, and how your why is either going to change your life, improve your life, visualizing what things will happen or what it is that you were working for in the first place. And just going back to that and saying, okay, this is only for this season. This is only temporary. Will you always do retail arbitrage or drop shipping or thrifting or print on demand or private label or whatever? No, you probably won't. You will switch it up, and that's okay. but you do need to allow yourself grace and mercy, and you got to celebrate what it is that you're achieving while you're in the journey, because you are making progress towards something, even if it doesn't feel like it. So I celebrate you guys. And I'm excited for everybody on the team. So for me, you know, I don't know how many weeks ago it was. We cleared everything out of my storage, and it had to be out by the 23rd. I think it was the 23rd of March. I had to think about it. So of course we got it all out. I have all these racks in my house. I have a lot of inventory. And so we had to get back on the bandwagon. And I am sucking my son back into the business because he's going to be graduating in another, at this point, 14 months. So getting him back into the swing of things so that he will always have the opportunity to be able to make money when he needs to, because technology is not leaving us. People will continue to buy things online. So technology is not leaving us. How we do this e-commerce thing is definitely going to evolve over the years. And so the way I do it now and how he may do it in another 5 years is going to be completely different. But the fact that he has that muscle memory of, hey, I can go onto a platform, I can sell a physical product or a digital product or a service, and I can get paid for it. I can be able to pay my bills. I can keep the lights on, keep water coming out of my faucet, keep a roof over my head, have clothes on my back, food to eat, because I have learned this skill. So my goal is now beyond the next 14 months, because before he didn't really have a passion for it. He was just, okay, he would do some stuff for a little bit, then quit, then do some stuff for a little bit, then quit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not here to play this yo-yo game like you, like some of the students I train sometimes. And I said, I don't have time for this. I can't do them and you too. So you know what? When you're ready to, you know, he's ready, he's motivated to buy a car at this point. So I said, yeah, that's the reason why mommy is doing what she's doing, is to be able to buy your car. Now, once you have a car, you don't have to maintain it. You got to pay for, you know, tires, and you got to get insurance, and you got to put gas in the car, and you got to maintain it, like all these other things that he's not thinking about. Just, I want the car, I want the car, I want the car. And hopefully over the next 14 months, he will have this muscle memory of what it takes to create a listing and to get a sale and to track your progress and to manage your money and to manage your time, so that he develops this skill and it becomes something that he can do long-term beyond what we're doing right now. So I'm excited about the fact that he is now more interested than he's ever been, because of the fact that he sees the income coming in. He's like, okay, which is, you know, I like, you can tell kids stuff, but anyway, seeing is believing. So I'm excited for him, and I'm excited about the potential for his life in the future beyond, you know, anything that I previously thought he was capable of doing. So I'm excited about it. And our progress in my business, like, we're making little progress because we just had to restart the engine over the last 2 weeks. So, because we had to shut down for a little bit to move all the stuff. So I may or may not hit my target by the 13th class, but I have made progress in a lot of other areas, including getting my son restarted. So I'm excited about that. All right. Is there anything else anybody else wants to share? If there's anybody else out there that I did not catch and they want to share where they are, I am happy to unmute you so you can share where you are in the journey.
I think it's such a really big deal that you moved your inventory, you organized your inventory, you kept things going, you found all your stuff, and you got your son in there to get into the business and continue to mentor us in the process.
Oh, well, thank you. I've had a lot going on, so thank you for that. I'll take that all day.
You've inspired me to organize some more of my inventory now.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I mean, I feel like that helps you to actually see your progress as well. So I told you guys I was tackling, I think, 2 tubs a week. And so I'm like, yeah, we're going to tackle 2 tubs a week, going to empty them out. We're going to get them listed, get it cataloged, and move on to the next one, 2 tubs. So this summer, because of the fact that he's going to be helping me, I'm just bumping it up to 4 tubs a week. So he's going to take 2, I'm going to take 2, and we're going to see what happens. So I might actually be able to host a dinner party at my house, but if I can't, that's all right. This is only for this season. So, all right. Well, we have gone through a few different listing optimizations. We're going through Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Walmart. I don't know if we hit Shopify yet, but today we're going to go over Mercari. Mercari is our topic for today. And so I always like to take the verbiage directly from them so that we know exactly how they are telling us we need to create our listings. I don't know, something just came over me for whatever reason. So now I've got coughing going on, but in any case, I apologize. So with Mercari, and Mercari is one of those platforms that you can sell a lot of different things, varying things, like you can on eBay, like you can on Facebook Marketplace. And so it's an opportunity for you to get more eyeballs on your listings, to gain more traction, and to make more progress than if you're trying to clear out the space, if you're just trying to get rid of inventory so you can transition to another method of e-commerce or whatever the case may be. Mercari is a great platform to sell on. I get sales on Mercari all the time. I do the same thing that Kelly does, which is I just let the money sit there and then I'll transfer it like at the end of the month to my bank account. So I don't do anything with it. Mercari sends you all these lovely messages all the time saying, hey, use your money, use your money. And I'm like, no, I'm saving that money. So yeah, I like selling on Mercari. I know that the shipping is increased on Mercari. Oh, sorry. And there's something, what did I remember? Sorry, from about 2 podcasts ago, eCom Sellers podcast, maybe 3. Mercari is changing how it is charging the fees they're including the shipping into the final assessment fee when they charge their percentage, which is there's a lot of sellers that were unhappy about that. So if you'll go back and listen to that podcast, you'll get the verbiage exactly right, because I'm sure that I'm not saying it right. But the point is, there's been a change in the way that they charge. So the amount that you're going to pay in fees is going to go up a little bit on Mercari, and also the shipping is going to go up a little bit on Mercari. If you haven't sold in the past, then it won't mean anything to you because you'll just be new to it. But if you have sold in the past, just a heads up. But again, you can get a lot of traffic from selling on Mercari. So Mercari wants us to focus on 6 things. They want us to focus on the titles, the description, I remember tags, photos, let me go down the list, the category, the brand. So those are the things that they want us to focus on. Those are the 6 things. So with the titles, the one thing I will say is the example that they gave was actually perfect. And because of the fact that they want you to use, you can use up to 80 characters, but they want to know exactly what it is. So the title for Mercari is definitely tell me what it is. Because when people are looking on their mobile phone, they're looking at the picture, and the picture needs to be big, and they're looking at the title. If they're interested, they will click on it, and then they'll get the description and some of the other stuff. So what's in the title is going to be extremely important. And you'll notice in this one, the example that they have, it says new large pink squishmallow butterfly versus stuffed animal butterfly. So the one that says new large pink squishmallow butterfly is more descriptive and specific. It is exactly what it is. If somebody's looking for squishmallows, then this one is going to show up. Those are those stuffed, they are stuffed animals, but they're like the squeezy, super plush and squeezy. That's just why they call them squishmallows. And so if somebody's looking for a squishmallow, they want to know that in the title. So if there's something different, unique, specific about the product that you happen to be selling, make sure that you keep that in mind when you're selling the product on Mercari. You get up to 80 characters. They encourage you to use all 80. And then the description, whatever you couldn't get into the title, make sure that you're putting it into the description. Okay. So anything you couldn't include, make sure you put it into the description. They're going to need to know sizes or measurements, or, it requires batteries, or, it's solar powered, or whatever there are that are specifics, like the measurements. It's this tall by this wide by this thick, or it's this many pounds. And if it's a specific color, if it's a small, medium, large, like, you want to make sure you include that information into the description so that people will know exactly what it is that they're getting. And they'll be, if they're searching by some other thing, then of course, we're going to talk about the tags in a second, but putting tags into your listing is also going to help. Okay. So make sure you include as much detail as possible so that way people know exactly what they're getting. If it's new or if it's old stock, there's some short terms that you can put into your listing. So new with tags is always helpful because a lot of people like to buy new stuff. So I have a bunch of new stuff, new with tags. I also have some new and it's old stock, old inventory. So the packaging may have been worn down. I sold something at Christmas time where the packaging was worn down. I was like brand new, but the packaging is worn down, so that they were aware of that. I sold that on eBay, but not on Mercari. But in any case, you want to make sure that you note those things when people buy things, so you don't run into problems, because much like any other platform, product is not as described is always an issue. So you don't want to have to deal with potential returns. Now, just Mercari and also with Poshmark, like, the return policies are very specific. So it's not easy for people to return stuff if you give all of the detail and you have all of the pictures. It's gonna be hard for you to get returned. So I do like that about Mercari because once it's done, it's done. You're gonna have a hard time doing a refund. Now, the categories, you can browse through the categories to see what's where your listing might go. What I normally do is in the past, my VA, she actually left me, guys. She was graduating from college, or not, she was graduating from the graduate program. So she left, and I'm like, oh, but in the past, she would put my listings into List Perfectly and push them out to Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and so on and so forth. And so one of the things that I would have her do before she got started is to go look for the product that we're about to sell. Go just look for it or search for it on the different platforms to confirm or validate the category that it needs to go into. Because there's nothing like, the category being one way on one platform and another way in another. And then when you push it out using those listing tools, it doesn't go into the right place, or you have a problem with where it mapped it to. So what I try to tell her is, like, go double check to make sure it's in the correct category for the category listings on Mercari. Mercari's category listings are similar to, I want to say Facebook Marketplace is probably the closest match. But again, making sure that your product is in the right category is extremely important so you don't run into problems. If there is a brand, if there's a brand name that is recognizable, then definitely include the brand name. For some people, like, you could put the brand into the description, but for others, like, they're going to want to know that it's Nike tennis shoes, or they're going to want to know that it is, I don't know, Hamilton Beach, whatever. So if it's one of those well-knowns and you think people are buying by brand, then make sure the brand is in the title. But if there's not, and it's just like, I always use the example of ceramic flat irons, like, people care about the fact that it's a ceramic flat iron. They probably are not looking for a specific brand of ceramic flat irons. So, and then like some people are interested in certain types of like phone cases. So, or I remember back in the day, like, one was called, is it Gorilla or something like that, where it was like heavy duty reinforced, like a phone cover versus some other brand name. And it's like, I don't care about the other brand name. I want the one that's reinforced, that's well known. Or tumblers. Like some people are interested in certain type of coffee tumblers, certain brand of coffee tumblers versus any other coffee tumbler. So again, if it's relevant, put it into the title. If it's not, make sure it's in the description. If it's, if it is important somewhat, you can put it like in the first sentence within the description, and maybe that will help you to grab some traffic. You can also use tags to help with that as well. So tags, they encourage you to use tags on your listings on Mercari. And so in this example, like, you've got Nike crop top. And so you've got sportswear, athletic wear, or athleisure, not athletic wear, athleisure and streetwear. All of those people might be looking for sportswear, which would probably be a Nike crop top. I would also, well, athleisure, I would not probably ever look up anything by athleisure. I probably look it up by athletic, but that's okay. And streetwear, I'm not really wearing a crop top. I don't have that kind of body to wear a crop top, so probably wouldn't put that. But again, I would probably, before, if I don't know, and I don't list a lot of these, if I don't list a lot of these on Mercari, I'm probably going to go look at somebody else's listing just to make sure that I'm not missing anything that I need to add to my listing. So that might be an extra tip that you do, is when you get to certain platforms and it's something like you have a one-off of something or a two-off of something, that you go and look and see, okay, how is this thing being listed on this platform? How are Nike crop tops listed on Mercari versus, they're probably listed completely different on eBay and completely different on Amazon. So let me make sure that I am listing it so that I can get some organic traffic on this specific platform. And then the next thing is photos. All the time, it's going to be extremely important that you have good lighting, that you get as much of the item into the frame as possible, and that you have as little white space or as little other space around your item. A white background is not going to hurt anything. So when it comes to a background, they say less is more, which is what you want. You don't want it to distract from anything. So unless it requires a completely different colored background, then don't make it overly complicated. I love the example that Kelly uses, like whenever she has to take a picture of a coffee mug and it's a white coffee mug. So taking a picture of a white coffee mug in a white background, like unless you have some like a off-white shadow of something going on, then you can't get the full effect of an oversized coffee mug that has a really cute handle on it. So what she does is she uses a black background, a black poster board, to be able to get something get that picture so that it pops. So for those things that, require a completely different background, do that. But if you've got some, I don't know, floral curtains in the background and you're laying something up against the floral curtains, don't do that. I mean, I think all of us know that, but sometimes you just have to say that. Zoom in as much as possible, because again, you want your item to take up all the space. When people buy things on a mobile device, you need to be able to see it. You don't want them to have to do the peachy fingers too much, the make it bigger with my fingers, my index and my pointer finger, so that I can actually see what it is and get the detail. And you want to make sure you have as many pictures as possible of this item. Pictures from the front, pictures from the back. If you're like selling those jeans that already are sort of torn and ragged look, which is not my thing, but anyway, I always take a picture of the front and the back, make sure I get the zipper and the button and all that other stuff. If there's intricate wear around the waistband, I'm taking those pictures. I'm going to go all the way down to the legs. So if they have the frayed legs at the bottom, I'm taking a picture of that so that it's, they can see that. I'm also taking a picture if the knees are like worn out. Because again, I don't like to sell that kind of stuff, but if I come across that kind of inventory and I do some research and it's worth something, then I'll probably go ahead and list it to sell it. So make sure you include as many pictures as it will allow you to, so that again, you don't run into that problem of the product is not as described. Sometimes I'll take a picture of the tag. I definitely do that on eBay. I always make sure I have a picture of the tag that shows the size, because if I'm selling multiples of something, I want to make sure that when my son pulls it, that he pulls the right one. Like you need to get the size 12 or you need to get the size 3X or whatever, so that you don't run into problems with, oh, you shipped the wrong one. So I always make sure I take a picture of the tag. So that way, if you have somebody helping you ship, that they don't screw up too. So those are the tips that I have outside of what they have said. I think Macari is a good platform to sell on. I think all the other ones are too. So what questions can I answer for you today? Any questions about what we covered?
Macari is actually one I'm looking at starting this month.
Okay.
And I just bought my first items off of Macari. So this was very helpful.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah, I was thinking of Macari too, because I have a lot of range of things in the house. So I was thinking that would be another good place that you can sell, multiple stuff on. So this is good. Thanks. Now I might really look at it. I think I'm gonna do like the person who just spoke, buy something off of it, see how it goes.
Oh, I have never bought anything off of Macari.
Okay.
I have never, that's just me. But I will suggest one additional thing. Join the Facebook groups, but remember to take whatever is said in the Facebook groups with a grain of salt. There's going to be things that happen on platforms and people will complain, and those that have the most time to kill will potentially complain the most. So, I remember when I first started selling on Amazon, I was in this Facebook group and all they did was complain. And it's like, oh, okay, well, who are the biggest complainers and how often do they complain? So just kind of be, take what they say to some extent with a grain of salt. Things happen on every platform. There's stuff that happens on Macari, happens on eBay, happens on Amazon. Like scammers can happen everywhere. So just don't want you to be surprised by that. But I would encourage you to join a Facebook group just so that you can get a little bit of insight on anything else that might be unique. And Macari will sometimes do deals like to get your first listing up. Like they'll, do these giveaways and stuff like that, or enter you automatically into a drawing. I remember for St. Patty's Day, I think it was like you enter you into a $5,000 or $10,000 drawing just for putting up your first listing or something like that. So they'll have all these little drawings to try and motivate people to go ahead and create listings for random stuff.
That's cool. Thanks.
All right. Well, that is all I have for you all this evening. I am just encouraging you to finish strong. You got 2 more solid weeks, well, the rest of this week, and then 2 more solid weeks to continue to push towards your goal, your objective, your target numbers, to keep track of where you are. And again, if you don't hit your targets, this is not the time to beat yourself up. What you want to do is you celebrate the fact that you started with the number 0 and you have something that is other than 0 after 90 days. That is a good thing. So I just want you to celebrate that. We would like for it to be your goal number, but if it's not your goal number, we are not going to beat ourselves up about it. And just continue to be persistent.
Hey, it's Anessa. Sorry.
Hey,
I'm on
Anessa.
late.
That's okay.
I am like coming up from the deep, dark depths of tax season. So I hopped on kind of late. I sell on Macari.
Okay.
The payout schedule is not like eBay.
Correct.
Did you talk about that at all?
I did not talk about, we're just talking about listings. That's all I did was just talk about listings. Yeah.
Okay.
No, the payout schedule is not like eBay. And I did tell them that what I do is I transfer my money at the end of the month to the bank. That's all I do. So whatever sales I get, I don't care. Like I just let it sit there and then I transfer the money at the end of the month. So I don't think about it. I just set it and forget it.
Got it.
So, but that's it. Well, welcome to the meeting. And I'm about to go back into taxes. Like I have until, what is it, the 17th to get all of my stuff done. I've already filed for an extension. So I'm literally just trying to get some back taxes done so that way I can go forward into this year. So I've already filed for an extension.
Yeah, it's
the 17th.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Taxes are fun.
No. I have a couple of clients that I'd have to do. Well, actually, I'm working with an accountant because I do the bookkeeping work. So I have to, like, I'm reaching out to them. I'm like, okay, can you guys afford to make a payment with an extension, or whatever? And tomorrow's Wednesday, and I'm like, taxes are due on Monday. So basically tomorrow, I'm just going to tell the accountant nothing's due at this time. If there's anything that is due, then, everybody's just going to have to file and pay with penalties, because I can't like monitor everybody. I've sent everybody like emails and messages, and no one's gotten back to me. So I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I just decided I wasn't gonna pull out all my hair. It's already gray. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna file an extension. It's gonna be all right.
right. And then deal with it when you have to deal with it. I mean, I
What
guess
I
that's the
gotta
best
do.
thing to do. But
I
yeah, well,
should
good.
owe. I think I'm in a good position. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna owe at
Mhm.
all. I'm gonna get a refund. I'm gonna get a few years worth of refunds, but yeah.
Well, you know what I found? So this is very interesting. So I ended up filing late last year, and I ended up getting money back. The government will pay you your interest, but then they'll also send you a 1099. So I'm just like, it's crazy. But that's the first time I've ever gotten a 1099 from them. I've filed in the past late before, and I've never gotten a 1099, maybe because the interest wasn't that much. But this last year was the first year that happened. And I'm like, okay, so you gave me the interest. Now I got to pay taxes on that interest.
Yep.
All right, you know
Well,
what?
and I will say I've never gotten a 1099 from them either. So this should be interesting to see what happens.
Right. So if you end up getting a 1099 from them, just know that it's interest that they've paid you on money that they owe you, but they owe it's just from so like I filed in November. Filing date was what, the 17th of last year or whatever, or the 18th.
Yeah.
So then when I filed from the date of the filing, so basically what they'll do is if you owe, right, they'll charge you interest and penalties. But if they owe you and you don't file late, and I don't know if this is something new, because I've never, in all the years that I've been doing taxes, I've never seen this happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something new that they implemented, or something new that they're like, okay, well, maybe we can get some more money out of people because of this. I don't know. But that's what they will do. So it'll be interesting to see if you get refunds back from like 2021, 2022, or even 2020. Just make sure that like next year, this time, if you've gotten a 1099 from them, it's probably for the interest that they're taxing you. They want you to report the interest that they paid to you.
Yeah.
Your tax return.
This will be interesting. I will let you all know what happens one way or the other, because I'm not going to be done by the time we finish this workshop. So because I filed an extension. The others will be filed, but 2022 will not be filed. So
Yeah,
it should be interesting.
It should be. Things are always changing with the government. You never know until sometimes, even when you have filed your taxes. I think they ended up changing a law recently for 2022 after people have filed their tax returns.
Already. Yeah. And they're working on making changes to the IRS as a whole, and how everything is going to be, handled. They want to improve their customer service. They want to improve their response time. They want to improve all this other stuff. They want to deal with the backlog. And so they're saying that the changes that they're hoping to implement will be implemented over the next 6 years. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely. They do need to do something, because waiting on hold for like, if you don't call at 8 o'clock in the morning and you end up calling, some other time during the day, you're on hold for like an hour, 2 hours. I just know somebody was on the phone with them waiting for like 2.5 hours to speak to somebody. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've done that. I think one time I was on the phone for 3 hours. I was there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I was on the phone I was like 2 years ago, I was on the phone for 3 hours. But yeah, it was crazy. And then I finally got somebody, and then they transferred me, and I was like, oh no. Oh,
like another 2 hours of being on hold.
Like, no. Anyway.
So, but thank you for this. I appreciate the heads up about Mercari. I need to put some stuff. I put some stuff on there that has sold in the past, but it hasn't sold recently. So, and I know I need to refresh the listings and like change the prices and stuff like that or whatever. So I'll play around with it again and see.
Yeah. So my goal is to clear out my house. And so I know it's going to take a little by little. As I was talking before, I'm doing 2 tubs a week. So we're going to go to 4 tubs a week. In the summer, we're going to bump it up. So it's going to be interesting to see how many we clear out. I'll maybe do a post on Facebook that says, hey, Just wanted to let everybody know we cleared out 24 tubs in 2
Wow.
months or whatever the number is, which would be absolutely cool if we can do something like that.
Well, best of luck. I know that I'm working with my daughter now to try to get rid of some of the clothes and stuff that she has, because, it's summertime and we got to figure out, what we're going to get for summer and whether she's going to work in the office or camp counselor or whatever. So, but
Yeah.
I'm selling, trust me, I have an eye on what she's like trying to give away, because I'm like snatching stuff up to be able to sell it back online. So.
Absolutely. And don't overlook ThreadUp. I think, some of the stuff that my son has, we're starting to look at ThreadUp, and there's another one that the teens like, oh God, that they like to buy stuff on. So
Oh, like Grail or Depop?
Depop, I think is Depop.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember. So as soon as we start listing on Depop and some of these others, which you can do through List Perfectly, I am actually going to teach about that and say, okay, here's another platform, because again, all of us know like some of the primary ones, the 7 to 8 primary ones, but some of these other ones we don't talk about it, or some of the other methods. And so that's one of the goals, is that we're going to start listing. Depop is, I think, what it is, and I'll let everybody know what happens.
Okay. I know ThreadUp is now charging for their bags. So, yeah. And because their processing time, they revamped their process. They closed the warehouse. They did a whole bunch of things. And now if you want a bag, you have to pay for it, but it depends on the processing time. So
Oh,
if you want
okay.
your stuff processed sooner, then it's more expensive for the bag. Whereas before they used to give free bags and free labels, but they don't do that anymore. So actually stop selling on them. And if you want your clothing back, they're going to charge you. I think now they're going to charge you per piece, as opposed to a flat rate fee.
Ah, well, that's good
So,
to know. Well, we will definitely, maybe I'll have you come and let's just talk about it together, do a webinar Wednesday workshop and say, okay, we are here to talk about some of these other platforms and let's get into it and
okay,
we'll
cool.
talk about them. And then that way other people will know, okay, here's some of them that, here's what you can sell. Here's our experience, is what we've seen, whatever. Because again, I'm getting into some of these other platforms only because of the way he likes to dress. And Renata's son too, like, oh, okay, guys, I don't know what you're wearing. I can't really tell. So anyway, I'm sure that's what people used to say about me when I was younger, but now I feel like my mom. So anyway. All right. Well, I will let you all go. I have another training here in a little bit. So I am just lifting you all up in prayer. We still do have our Sunday entrepreneur prayer call and Bible study. If you ever want to join, you're more than welcome to join us. And I will be lifting up your businesses in prayer this week, so that again, you are hopefully going to be able to hit your targets. And if not, finish strong as you can. So that's what we're going to do. So you all have a fantastic evening, and we will say goodbye for now.
Thank you.
Alrighty, you too.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye. Have a good night,
All right.
Have a
everybody.
good night.
Good
Have a good
night.
night, everybody.
Okay. Bye-bye.